welcome back to Monday Night Football, Brand. This is our Season 3, Episode number 2. No, you're not seeing things. Roy Alvaron did not go down to South America and Brazil and have a change of character.
Appearance.
We have somebody else in this place. This is Rocio. I call her Chio Carizales. So, Chio, introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Rocio, but everyone knows me as Chio, and it's just a name that stuck with me growing up. Basically, I am a local player. I guess you can consider me a veteran.
Former local player.
Former local player.
Catamount.
I played since I was basically 4 years old. I mean, my parents, both of them played soccer, so I'm very much embedded in the sport. But now I'm here.
And a Dalton State grad as well?
Dalton State grad, and now I coach at Hammond Creek, and I have the Dalton Middle School team.
Dalton Middle School team.
Yeah.
So Chio's going to be giving us, it's going to be good to help us this year. She's going to give us a little more insight into the girls' game, the girls' mentality, and just to give us a different perspective. So it's going to be interesting to have that. But here shortly, we want to go ahead and get into these scores because we had a very, very busy first week. And here we go right now to kick it off. We have the boys' scoreboard, so brought to you by OptiLink. So we had games on February 6th. We had Christian Heritage losing to Ringo 2-1. Murray County losing to Sonoraville 2-1. Coahulla Creek winning 3-2 over Union County. Southeast dropping one to Calhoun 2-1. Haralson County getting beat by North Murray 10-0. Then on February 8th, we had Creek versus Pickens County, 4-1 win for Creek. Gilmer County beating Murray County 3-1, and Northwest tying Cass 1-1. And then we have some other games for the boys. We had Dalton Academy beating Heritage, going up to 4A, and they beat a good Heritage team 4-1. Southeast losing to Meadow Creek. That's why if you notice I have no facial hair, I lost the bet. So thanks to Meadow Creek beating Southeast 3-1. Dalton went down to Alabama and just beat the defending state champs Fort Payne 7-1. North Murray beating Rockmont 10-0. Christian Heritage getting a dub, beating Temple 10-4. And then we had Dalton beating Vestavia Hills 2-0, and then Southeast losing to Berkmore 6-2. Chio.
All right, for the girls' scoreboard on February 5th, we have Dalton Academy going down 10-0 to Armachi.
Yep. Yes.
I hope I said that right. I'm so sorry if I didn't. February 6th, we had Coahulla Creek win 10-0 to Union County, Southeast 5-2 to Calhoun. And we have Murray County winning 3-2 against Sonoraville, and Murray County 4-2 to Haralson County. As well, on February 8th, we have Coahulla Creek. Coahulla Creek win 3-1 to Pickens County, Murray County 3-4 to Gilmer County, and on February 9th, we have Christian Heritage 0-10 to Temple. As well, we have Southeast with the uprise against Meadow Creek, and then Murray County 2-0 against Rockmart. Dalton 2-0.
Actually, it was Kennesaw Mountain 2.
I was about to say I was there at that game.
Kennesaw Mountain 2, Dalton 0, correct.
Dalton went down 2-0 against Kennesaw Mountain, and Northwest 0-3 against North Paulding.
So we got a minute and a half in this segment. Chio, anything that surprised you in the first week out of those highlights or those scores there?
So I can honestly say I've only attended Dalton versus Northwest, and then the last game as well, Dalton versus Kennesaw. Dalton versus Northwest, a highlight I can honestly say it was America. She came out and she played pretty good. She defended her team. She defended her team pretty good. As well, coming back to catch up on the score was Northwest. So they fought really nice and hard against Dalton. It was a good battle. So that was pretty surprising, the level that I'm seeing now at within Dalton.
Within the girls here.
Within the girls soccer. It actually has been about 2 years that I have not really gone to see a full game, and that was pretty impressive to see where the level of soccer is now.
And for me, I guess the biggest surprise so far is Southeast. I mean, the boys, they're a perennial powerhouse, 3 state championships and titles, and they're 0-3 on the season. So they got a big game which coming up tomorrow versus Dalton, which we'll discuss later. But that's the big surprise of the week, and we'll discuss that more later on in the show. But with that, we're going to get ready to go to commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to have a special guest, Tyler Hudson from Shankly Elite Training.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? Open up a world of possibilities when you sell your home and make those dreams real. At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home, compare cost of living city by city, and learn more about our revolutionary seller's assurance program. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams. At ColdwellBanker.com.
Who's up for some football?
That's not football. This is football.
And Eddie, there's one thing that we all can agree on.
That's it. North Georgia is the home for new and pre-owned vehicles.
And don't forget accessories, parts, service, and collision needs.
Claro que sí se puede. Come see us.
Hey,
That's our part.
Why should you choose OptiLink Internet?
I chose OptiLink because of the great local service.
We know computers, and OptiLink knows internet with high-speed symmetrical uploads and downloads.
My customers depend on me for safety and security, and I need fast and dependable internet. That's why I chose OptiLink.
some people say you can't have fast internet. I say, oh yes you can with OptiLink.
Experience the difference. Call today, 706-529-1313.
I'm Waylon. I live in Dalton, and I'm the owner of Elite Lineman Training Institute.
And I'm Mitch Sanford with Bitwell Bank.
When I left Georgia Power to start my own business, I met with Mitch and told him what we were doing.
I told Waylon, you're the kind of business we want to work with.
We have a very high standard for how we work as a company and especially how we treat our clients. After a very candid conversation with Mitch, we knew we were on the same page.
Today, we're working on several businesses, training and real estate.
Because they do the heavy lifting, so I can focus on my business. My bank is built well.
And welcome back to Monday Night Football. We have a special guest. He's actually a good friend of mine. Super cool dude. This is Tyler Hudson.
Tyler Hudson from Shankly Elite Training. Tyler, introduce yourself to obviously the people that are in the soccer world know you, but maybe there's some people that aren't aware of you. So introduce yourself. Where are you from? How did you originally get here to Dalton? And then we'll discuss a little bit more of the little business venture you have as well.
Sounds good. So yeah, Tyler Hudson, originally from Liverpool, England. Come over to America in 2014 originally. Played soccer in Atlanta for a small academy called Concord Fire. And then come to Dalton in 2015 and attended Dalton State College, where, of course, I met Chio, being part of the men's and women's soccer team. And then, of course, played all 4 years there and stayed here ever since.
So, obviously, being from England, I'm assuming you're a big EPL guy, and being from Liverpool, I'm assuming you're a Fulham fan.
Yeah, something like that anyway. No, of course, born and bred Liverpool fan.
Liverpool.
Yeah, never had no choice.
So, the Turkey game in 2005 when Liverpool stormed back was a very great night for you then.
Oh, yeah. I mixed emotions that night, should I say. I was crying, I was cheering. I don't know what I was feeling when we won. I think my dad come home at half-time. He was not happy with the way the game was going, as were many Liverpool fans, and opened the door at half-time. Didn't want to watch it for the rest of the game until we scored, and then he turned the TV back on, and we remained to watch the rest of the game, and of course it turned out our way.
So if you guys aren't aware, in 2005, Liverpool put on a miraculous comeback and won the Champions League. They were pretty much left for dead, and they turned it around and they won it. So Chio, Mr. Tyler, what you got? What questions you got for this man?
I have a big question. I know a little bit of the answer, but the question is, why Dalton? How did you get here?
Not why Dalton.
Yeah.
Why stay in Dalton
Why
after you?
stay in Dalton?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I originally was supposed to go to the University of Wisconsin. That was my commitment to Wisconsin at first, having lived in Atlanta for 4 to 5 months playing academy soccer. I ran into a turn of events where I was ineligible for the NCAA and had to stay back home in England for an extra year. So I had to take an online course and a night school course every Tuesday night, studied again for my SATs, and then was, of course, ineligible the next semester with the English grading system being slightly different to the US. So I had to take a full years of classes. After the January come, could they have to give my scholarship away, withholding such a high demand scholarship with it being a full ride.
And
So I
school, correct?
yeah, so I of course had to take that and just move forward. So with my host family in Atlanta, who I still speak to and still obviously are like my family without being blood today, they contacted the coach here at the time, and then wound up sending 3 English guys to Dalton State and started the program. And to say I was going to stay here for the rest of the time, I didn't have no plans to do so, but met a lot of good people in the community, made a lot of really, really good connections, and then went ahead and took an extra degree at Dalton State after I finished my original degree in biology, and then formed Shankly Elite Training. But the reason really why I stayed here was just the massive connection with the community, and I knew it was a big soccer community from the start, and hence why I've stayed here to do what I do today.
So you started out at Dalton State, graduated from there. And when you started at Dalton State, you guys were the first players to start the program, or was it year? Okay.
Yeah. First year, 2015, and obviously.
How do you see that program has advanced since you started to now?
It's a lot more organised now. It's got really good leaders in charge of it, and the school system alone, of course, it's got its backing. I think we had a phenomenal team and a very close-knit team. Just the leadership from above was not there for us.
Okay.
That's all I'll say.
Chio.
And then I'm kind of curious, who are your soccer inspirations? Because you really love the sport.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if I was looking from a player standpoint of growing up, I mean, you look at the likes of all the Liverpool players when I was growing up in the late 90s, early 2000s, looking into my first idol, I think, was Michael Owen, whose career did not pan out to probably the way it should have with injuries.
Yeah.
But biggest idol ever, apart from nowadays, of course, Liverpool doing very well and reaping the rewards, was Steven Gerrard. So being a local boy himself, and Jamie Carragher, who played for Liverpool at the time, they're the soccer idols that I look up to and obviously watched growing up, and from a playing perspective, but coming from a coaching's perspective now, I mean, I really look up to the man who sent me over here, apart from my parents, who of course played a huge role in getting me to the States, is Tony Robinson. I've mentioned him on previous podcasts and previous gatherings before when I've spoke to people about it, but Tony Robinson is the father of Anthony Robinson, who plays for Fulham and plays in the Premier League and on the US national team. So he was the man who played a big factor in getting me and several of the players over to the States. And he was our coach in the off seasons when we were off from our clubs. He got kids to clubs who was released from their previous clubs, and just was there, that helping hand, throughout early stages of a soccer career in England anyway. And at 16 years old, that's the vital stage, not whether you make it or break it, but if you have a solid chance at getting into a pro team. So he was the guy who sent me off to Morecambe, who I played for, who were in League 2 in England, and then sent me to the States with his connections over here. So big man to look up to in the soccer world, and of course the man Jurgen Klopp. I don't think anybody will have anything to say of looking up to that guy, one of the best coaches in the world.
Really quick, who's the most famous player you've got to meet in your career so far?
Growing up playing soccer in England, especially at academy level, I played against a lot of players that are very high caliber players now, like the likes of Adama Traore, who was most recently at Barcelona. I played against him at 11 years old. We played against Barcelona at their academy in Spain for Liverpool schoolboys at the time. I played against a few ex-Manchester United players like Jesse Lingard, Adnan Januzaj, don't you remember him? He was on the charts for a while and then kind of dropped off. And then just players like Eric Dyer and Ross Barkley. Played against Everton's youth team back in the 2000s when I was probably a U15 playing for the U18s, and played against them guys, and that was just a different world knowing they were playing in the Premier League the next week.
Okay. Well, we're getting ready to go to commercial break, but when we come back, we're actually going to discuss more into Shankly Elite Training, what it is that you do here, and what it is that you're bringing to the community. So we're going to commercial break, and when we come back, we'll discuss Shankly Elite Training.
We provide an excellent service for individuals who've had catastrophic injury cases, people who've had injuries that are going to last them, unfortunately, for the rest of their life. Being there for a person, being there to actually see them get better, that is what this field is all about. That's what we're really striving to do, and that's what we think we provide. You still have to have that empathy for the person so you can tell their story to the jury. At the end of the day, that's where your case is heard.
Has a recent storm damaged the roof of your home? Altman Roofing has been restoring homes since 1984. In Dalton alone, over 2,000 roofs have been replaced by Altman. Altman Roofing will also work with your insurance claim. For a free 15-minute estimate for roofing, siding, or gutters, call 706-529-8136 or visit altmanroofing.com. You can also see their professional work on Facebook.
Thank you.
Thank you, North Georgia. Gracias, North Georgia.
We appreciate you, North Georgia.
I'm Seymour. I'm John Moore. Like the Georgia Bulldogs, we're number one.
Thank you, North Georgia, for voting us number one 6 years in a row.
If you're hurt and want the best,
give us a call. We'll do the rest.
And welcome back to Monday Night Football. And here we are with Tyler Hudson, the able of Shankly Elite Training. So Tyler, obviously you have a love for the sport, you have a love for the soccer, and you're able to convert that over to a business. So explain to us, what is Shankly Elite Training for those that aren't aware of what the business that you have, and what you look forward to see, how you look forward to seeing your business grow within the community.
So Shankly Elite Training is primarily a soccer training company. We do offer sports performance training as well on the more one-to-one small group basis. Now moving into more or less team training with the local academies and schools. And then we run our camps and clinics every school holiday. So more one-to-one, very detailed soccer training, a lot of performance training with your speed, agility, quickness, and now strength training, which we incorporate as well.
Chio, and you said you had a little insight of this years ago, right?
Yeah, so Tyler actually helped me get a job at a gym. And this is when he was doing
Culprit, I think, right?
Culprit. It was
Yes.
Culprit for sure. Shout out to Culprit. But I was just supposed to be there to be a translator, I think. But it turns out that I was going to get certified too. And I was still learning the tactics to it, but I was basically just observing him and how he was doing it. He's always been good at training. He's a good coach, very patient, I will say. He's coached me before, and he's like, "Chio, come on, fix that." And I'm like, "Okay, yes, sir." But I do remember. I remember when all of this began. He would have a few kids at a time just coming into the gym, and he would train them. He'd I wouldn't say fix, but he knew what to do to help them become better players. And then I think the question is really like, how did you convert your passion to a business?
I think one of the biggest things for me was, again, as we explained before, the community of Dalton, Georgia, being a huge soccer-based community. And of course, all started at the gym, being an athlete there as well, and trained every single day out of there when I was off-season or in season with the college, and then started building quite a good reputation as a coach over there as well, and alongside some phenomenal people and phenomenal coaches who helped me with my trade along the way. I thought, you know what, this is actually going somewhere. I started off just as a college kid playing, going there in the evening time, training a bit extra, doing a few classes, to a lot of parents then approaching me saying, can we do some private training in soccer? And at the time, I didn't even know what that was. So I said, yeah, we'll give it a go. And to look back then, almost probably 7 years ago, I was like, I don't even know what I was doing in that training session there. But as Chio said, she trained with me a few times and she liked it. It was good for her, good as an athlete, of course, playing in college, and good to adjust the game on the outside of the team training factor where you're getting a little bit more detail. You're looking at your movement patterns, you're looking at what you need to do in specific scenarios in a game, and then moving forward from there. So my original plan was to go through my biology degree and go into the physical therapy field, because that's what I really trained in the gym for. In almost prevention of injury before you're after rehab. So that was my kind of thing of thinking of exercises to do so. Went through all that stuff, went through school applied to grad school. Unfortunately, it was during COVID time where they wasn't accepting a lot of in-person students in them programs with it being so hands-on. So wound up taking another degree at Dalton State in health and wellness, and then just kept building reputation, building clientele, building relationships, putting a business plan together. Big proposal, of course, to many people around the town who was going to bring on board and help out. And then June 2022, I was in the right spot to launch a full-time company. And to say it's grown is an understatement in a year and a half.
Yeah, that's my next question. Like you said, it's grown. When you originally started, how many people were you training at the time?
I couldn't even tell you, but I'd say probably, from the gym as well, I think I probably was 75 kids that had interest in it, really. So
and where are you at now with that?
As of this week, we're just signing up a couple of team trainings for the high schools. I think we're just under 700 kids. So I'd come on here a few months ago and did a news interview with the other gentleman, and we were at 550 then, and that was just before Christmas. So we've gained a good 150, 200 kids since then, and it just shows people are trusting in the program. They're investing in it as parents with their kids, and myself and the coaching staff, and shout out to my coaching staff, Chio being one of them. She comes on board with our camps and clinics as well. Just doing a phenomenal job, and of course learning their trade along the way as well, because nobody's going to be phenomenal straight away. Do you know what I mean? That's not how I started. I'm at a place right now where I can manage that, but my coaches, I want to have their full personality into it as well, not just kind of be a clone of myself.
And if someone's interested in coming in, are you looking for people that are playing club soccer, or are you just looking for anyone that's all across the board? Entry level, medium.
So for our clientele base and our customer base, we go from 3 years old right through to professional now. So everybody who comes on board, either they're beginner, they're intermediate, they're advanced, we can cater for everybody. It's not as if we have to run a session, or session by session, it's different to who we have. I have a lot of parents generally ask me that. They say, what do you do with these pro players? That's different to the kids. And I say, nothing, we do the exact same thing. It's just done at a much higher level. So that's when they say, all right, well, we'd like to watch that. We'd like to see how they move in situations in the sessions. And that's what's kind of driven more kids there as well. Not just because we have guys who are pro that come and train with us in the off seasons, but they get to see that when they come, and then they know, all right, well, I'm doing the same things as them. So can I get to that standard maybe one day? And as I always say, getting to any level in the game, whether it's high school, college, is a bonus.
So the Shankly training is also offering a supplement to, because obviously a lot of kids are playing club ball, high school ball. So basically you're really there to supplement and treat them more of the game and how to deal with game situations. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Just really be there as the outside source. And I know a lot of kids feel very pressurized in team environments, whether it's with schools, colleges, club teams, rec teams. In this case, I know the rec in Dalton especially is very competitive, so they may feel that type of pressure there. I was like that when I was a youngster as well, but didn't have this kind of outside source to go to. So that's what my main motto is for the company, as well as building the kids as athletes and hopefully developing their games, is just building better people so they can deal with that sort of thing when they go back to the clubs, and touching on details where they may need to improve on, but also touching on more details where they can get better, even if they're already good at something.
And really quick, where can people, if they're interested in finding out more about your organization or your business, where can they find you at?
So we're on all social media platforms right now, so Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, which I don't really use as much, but we have a lot of people reach out via those platforms. We have a full-flown website now, which is shanklyelitetrainingllc.com. And of course, just regular text emails for my numbers all over our scheduling app, all over the website. So, and of course, just word of mouth from other parents. Feel free to reach out. I'm always open. The coaches are open for having conversations. So that's really how we do our business.
Okay, well, and once again, we want to say thank you to Tyler. Actually, he's going to a training session right now. So if you're interested, please reach out to him. And we'll go to commercial break, and when we come back, we'll discuss the rest of the games that happened this past week. Thank you.
My car looks totally ruined. I don't even know what to do.
Locally owned Dalton Collision Center is the only choice when it comes to all of your auto body and refinish needs. Our experienced staff provides quality work from start to finish, will help with your claim, and even assist with getting your rental car. Everything from A to Z.
So you can focus on life, we can focus on getting you there.
We provide an excellent service for individuals who've had catastrophic injury cases. People who've had injuries that are going to last them, unfortunately, for the rest of their life. Being there for a person, being there to actually see them get better, that is what this field is all about. That's what we're really striving to do, and that's what we think we provide. You still have to have that empathy for the person so you can tell their story to the jury. At the end of the day, that's where your case is heard.
This year, Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty is proudly commemorating our 50th anniversary, and what a journey it has been. For 5 decades, Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty has been the heartbeat of real estate in Northwest Georgia.
We've had the privilege of helping thousands of homeowners with their real estate transactions. Thank you, Dalton and Northwest Georgia.
Whether you're buying, selling, or expanding your business, trust the experience that comes with 50 years of excellence. Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty with offices in Dalton, Calhoun, Cartersville, Ringgold, and Cleveland, Tennessee.
And welcome back to Monday Night Football. I want to say a big shout out to Tyler Hudson for coming on and discussing Shankly Elite Training. That's just one of the interviews that we have this season. We have other interviews forthcoming. Here in a couple of weeks, we have Jason Longshore, the voice of Atlanta United, and also the voice of GHSA Championship Soccer. He calls all the championship games once the season ends. We'll have him on later on. We have some other guests that we're working on as well. So chill, but let's go over these scoreboards because we got to pay the bills, right?
Let's see.
All right, OptiLink scoreboard, really quick. Looking at the first on February 6th, the real game that came out to me was obviously Southeast losing to Calhoun 2-1. We know that Creek beat Calhoun 2-0 in a exhibition game the previous week. Then Creek, coming out with another win. They had games on back-to-back. Oh, no, not back-to-back nights, but 2 games they beat Pickens County 4-1. Murray County losing 3-1. Northwest tying Cass 1-1. And then on the Friday, Saturday games for the boys, the biggest thing was Dalton going down to Alabama and beating Fort Payne High School. So, Chill, just so you know, Fort Payne is the defending state champs. And Dalton went down there and beat them 7-1.
That's crazy.
I know, right?
That's wild.
And then they come back and beat Vestavia Hills 2-0. So for you all aware, Vestavia Hills came to Dalton last year and played at Dalton Stadium. Vestavia Hills was up, I think, 3-1, and Dalton clawed back to tie that game up 3-3. But and then they go down there and handle business. Chill, what about the girls' games? Anything that caught your attention?
Yeah, so I will say I've been communicating with a couple of coaches. I every now and then, either Dalton Academy, Coahulla Creek, or Dalton coaches. I did see Dalton Academy coming into the season pretty strong. As well, Coahulla Creek, the coaches have informed me that their team looks pretty good so far, and they're doing pretty good. They have a couple of freshmen starting on the team, so pretty excited to see who the upcoming girls that are going to fill in those shoes. And as well at Dalton, really good team. When I went to go see that game, Kennesaw Mountain is pretty strong as well. They have a strong spine on their team. Everyone down the center is pretty good. Center mid, center back, really good formation. It's quite connected, and they have explosive attackers for sure.
Well, I know Coach Almodova's strategy coming in this year was he wants to get his team ready for the playoffs. So they came out and played a tough Kennesaw Mountain team. They play Alatoona, which we'll see at the end of the show, the schedule for this week's game. But they play Alatoona tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And he's just wanting to get them more exposure to those Atlanta teams. Because obviously, Chill, you being a former player, it's okay to be good up here, but it's a different the level of soccer is different when you start playing those Atlanta schools, right?
Oh, yeah. And it's quite necessary because you want to get those girls out of their comfort zone. Just because you win a bunch of games here doesn't mean that, this is all the competition there is, and this is where you're known as like a champion or a winner. But once you start exposing those athletes to what else is out there, you start realizing that the competition is much bigger. And so it's quite interesting, and I think it's a good tactic if he's exposing them to those Atlanta teams. Even some teams, I don't know, it could just be for a scrimmage, maybe Alabama. I don't know.
I mean, if you see Isaiah Gutierrez, Coach Gutierrez with Northwest, he put North Paulding, which is out of the Atlanta metro area. The girls lost 3-0, but he's getting them ready more for
it's the experience, the game.
Yes, because I mean, those girls from the Atlanta area, they're taller, stronger, and faster, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes. However, because we brought Tyler, you start realizing that there is now investment in our community, which is what's helping not just females, but all athletes. I think even football reaches out to him. But we needed those investments. We needed someone to just come here and be like, all right, this is specifically what I want to train for, which is speed, agility, performance, strength, tactics, skills, anything like that. I think that I'm very proud to see that there are people from the outside world coming into our community and be like, all right, this is where there's talent. Let's just fix the talent so it can shine.
So you actually see that with Tyler's the business that he has that is probably going to show a bigger difference within the female side, the girl side, right? Because I think that's what it is. A lot of the girls in Atlanta they're doing that speed training, they're doing that weight training,
and he gets called down to Atlanta too.
And we notice that on the girl side. I mean, I think that's the biggest difference when you get a local team from here, when they play against a team from Atlanta. You see the size, the strength, and the agility is like on another level. So we'll have to see, so I'm hoping with what Chio's saying with this whole training, there's going to be a big difference. And then obviously Creek, the Color Creek girls blanking their opponent 10-0. I know they're hungry. Right now we talk about the big teams are usually Dalton, Northwest, Southeast, but Creek doesn't want to be left behind.
They're coming up. And I did, when I had my in the summer when I had my semi-pro team, I had some Coahuila Creek girls come out, and maybe it was just a little bit of they just, how do you say it, dip their toes in the water to see what it's like. And I'm hoping to see more of them. Like I would like to see not just Dalton, not just Northwest or Southeast, but I would like to see Coahuila, Murray County, North Murray, all these schools come out and just show us what you can do. Like, don't be shy. Like we want nothing but to see, and especially in the female community, soccer grow. So.
All right. Yeah. Well, that was interesting. When we come back, we're going to have an interview with a couple Southeast girls that finished up with after their win on Meadow Creek. So we're going to go to commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have that interview for you.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? Open up a world of possibilities when you sell your home and make those dreams real. At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home, compare cost of living city by city, and learn more about our revolutionary seller's assurance program. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams. At ColdwellBanker.com.
Who's up for some football?
That's not football. This is football.
And Eddie, there's one thing that we all can agree on. That's it. North Georgia is the home for new and pre-owned vehicles. And don't forget accessories, parts, service, and collision needs.
Claro que sí se puede. Come see us.
Hey, that's our part.
Why should you choose OptiLink Internet?
I chose OptiLink because of the great local service.
We know computers, and OptiLink knows internet with high-speed symmetrical uploads and downloads.
My customers depend on me for safety and security, and I need fast and dependable internet. That's why I chose OptiLink.
Some people say you can't have fast internet. I say, oh yes you can with OptiLink.
Experience the difference. Call today, 706-529-1313.
I'm Waylon. I live in Dalton, and I'm the owner of Elite Lineman Training Institute.
And I'm Mitch Sanford with Futbol Bank.
When I left Georgia Power to start my own business, I met with Mitch and told him what we were doing.
I told Waylon, you're the kind of business we want to work with.
We have a very high standard for how we work as a company and especially how we treat our clients. After a very candid conversation with Mitch, we knew we were on the same page.
Today, we're working on several businesses, training and real estate.
Because they do the heavy lifting, so I can focus on my business. My bank is built well.
And welcome back to Monday Night Football. Todd, you're greatly missed today. I hope you're enjoying that sun down in the Dominican Republic, or actually, I think he's doing some surgery, so he's not even on vacation down there. He's actually
I was
working.
about to say I'm jealous.
Well, yeah, he's not
Still
actually
am.
working, so but he'll be back. Todd will be back next Monday, and with his mohawk, his Northwest red or blue and white, so he'll be back, guys. Don't
Did
worry.
he go to Northwest?
He's a Northwest guy.
Wow.
So see, that's the thing.
Wow.
So Todd is the Northwest guy. You're the now Dalton. And you took over Roy's position as the in-house Dalton Catamount.
Okay.
And Manny, who was on it last year. And then I'm the Southeast guy.
Oh, did they play soccer too?
Yes, we do. Come on.
Did they? Oh,
yeah.
Not saying anything.
But we do have a couple of highlights we're going to bring up. This is highlights of 3 different games. So if we can get those rolling. So this is going to be highlights from Murray County, Christian Heritage, and I think Dalton.
Oh, they flicked it in there.
Yep. Don't really know, so they were all brought in, but these were great clips. We want to say thank you to that's actually North Murray right there. Yes, the white is North Murray. Oh, nice little back there. Ooh.
What was the score again for this game?
I think this is a blowout. I think this is 10-0. This is Rockmart. Yeah, keeper.
Oh, the keeper was high up.
Yes.
Oh. Skills. Ooh. He's like, let me take on everybody.
Skill and near post.
And I do see a lot of North Murray athletes down here too.
Look at that. And this is a girls' game, so this was North Murray as well.
I'll have to come down and watch.
And this is Coahulla Creek. So Coahulla Creek started off the season strong. Defending state champs. Goalie didn't even do on that one either.
He was just their center.
So right now, if you want to talk about the boys, Dalton is 2-0. They went down to handle their business down at Alabama. Now they come back up and they play Southeast tomorrow. Creek, who's typically the team number 2, they pulled out a couple of victories. They beat Calhoun in the scrimmage game. And obviously they came out and took care of their business last week. So what do you think about on the boys' side? Well, how do you see things playing out on the boys' side? You see, obviously, Southeast boys are 0-3 right now, and then Coahulla's undefeated, Northwest tied, and then you have Dalton who's undefeated. So how do you see it on the boys' side?
On the boys' side, I think it goes back to just the investment that's been happening locally. These boys, they play in academies together. But they've become school rivalries.
Yeah.
But I feel this is a little complicated for them just because they kind of know how they play. And so, one, you have to be kind of deceiving with your moves because you probably play against your teammate and you'll be like, oh, he knows how I play, or I know how he plays, and you start making up those tactics. So I think locally right now, the pressure is really high within all these teams. Still good. I will always say that I will give that to the male teams. I support that. They're really talented here, and they're very passionate about it.
And Dawn Academy, they came out undefeated. They beat Heritage High School, which is 4A, which is a big step up. Asher has stepped in for, he's the head coach now running the program and took over for Ruri Alvarez. So we used to call them the Fighting Ruris, but I think we're going to have to come up with a new moniker because they're not the Fighting Ruris no more. But it looks like... Yeah, it looks like they're right off. They're trying to pick up. They came in season 1, won a state championship. Last year, they got beat by a strong Atlanta International, which went on to win a state title. And they had a big first scrimmage game. They beat defending state champ Christian Heritage 10-0.
Oh, my.
So, that game right there, the score could be a little deceiving. Obviously, it's a scrimmage game. I know Chris Heritage has players coming back from other sports. But this is the second week of the season. So, who do you see so far? So, who do you see at the end? Or who do you, just put on your analyst cap. So, where do you see where do you see the pecking order for the boys? Look at all the schools.
Statistically speaking?
Yes.
After seeing the Fort Payne score, well, I guess my my school has it for a little bit so far. I'm not going to say it's them, though, because the thing is, you can actually start off a season rough.
Yeah.
You have to kind of think about the players that are new to the team, starters, who's filling in the shoes of players that just left. So there could be moments where teams have like a rough patch at the beginning, and then eventually at the end they turn out to be like probably top teams. So now
we still have the Soccer City Cup, so that's going to be that's something that we're going to discuss later on in the season.
Yeah.
The Soccer City Cup, Dalton boys have won it back to back. The girls was taken by I think it was Southeast or was it Northwest? I think took it last year. So. We'll see how the teams match up there. Like I said, we have a big rivalry game tomorrow that we want to touch base on the boys' side, not on the girls. But the Dalton boys versus Southeast. How do you see Southeast coming in 0-3 versus an undefeated Dalton team? And you just said it's when the schools that play each other here locally, they know each other. So how do you think that game's going to end up being?
I think I'm going to actually end up going to that game. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Yeah, yes. My training ends at 5:30. I'll go straight over there. I'm excited to see that game. It's always an exciting game to see players, locally play against each other. I do know a lot of them train together, whether it's at Shankly Elite or with other coaches or club. So I'm quite excited to see the results of that game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think the Southeast boys are going to come out and play. Obviously, Miguel Garcia, Coach Garcia's got them training, working on a good level. They haven't started the season like they wanted, but they only have 5 seniors. They lost a lot of key players. They got a lot of underclassmen on their team.
You're right.
So it's going to be interesting to see. So I think that game, even though Southeast is going to, if you look on paper, 0-3, a big underdog if you look at it on paper, but I think it may be closer than expected. So please, we'll show you that score in a minute, or that at the end of the segment we'll show the schedule for this week. But we're going to go to commercial break. When we come back, we got an interview with some Southeast girls. Thank you.
Here's 2 of the nicest guys in the car business.
Hey, it's Eddie and Greg here from North Georgia Toyota. It's our big midwinter sales event. And our new car and truck inventory is steadily increasing. So shop now while selection is at its best. Greg, other dealers are going to say, we can't do that. What do we say?
We say, oh yes, we can.
And that's only at North Georgia Toyota in Dalton. Come see us.
Why should you choose OptiLink Internet?
When I work from home, I need fast, reliable internet. OptiLink provides that with no hidden fees.
Our customers depend on us for great service and quality.
And that's why we chose OptiLink Internet.
As we serve the needs of our clients, we need reliable internet service. That's why I chose OptiLink as my hometown provider.
Some people say you can't get fast internet. I say, oh yes you can with OptiLink.
Experience the difference. Call today.
I'm Purby, live in Dalton, Georgia with Dos First Fresh Mexican Grill.
And I'm Rusty with Builtwell Bank.
My husband and I are business owners, and we have known Rusty for 15 years now.
Yes, we've done a lot of projects together.
That's right. And we need banking partners that understand our small business need.
We understand you can have a great idea, but you need financing.
Everyone at the bank knows my name, which I love. For my personal and business needs, my bank is Builtwell.
And welcome back to Monday Night Football. Chio, you've almost completed your first show. Got a couple more segments left. How's it been so far?
It's actually fun. I told him when the cameras cut off, I'm like, oh, this is pretty fun. I could do this. And I'm trying to use my news report voice. I don't think I have it.
She's trying to be, what she's trying to say, she's trying to be very prim and proper. And she doesn't want to use that coach's voice because it gets very loud.
Yeah. I was training earlier how to use the microphone. I was like, okay.
I mean, I'd be kind of curious if you use that Coach Rios voice. I don't know if you remember Coach Rios from your playing days in Italia.
Oh, yeah.
That voice is kind of loud, isn't it?
Yeah. It was a little, okay, yes, sir.
But, I was fortunate enough to go out to a Southeast on Friday night to watch Southeast play Meadow Creek for boys and girls. The girls came out victorious, 9-0, and that's also coming off a 5-2 win that Southeast girls had earlier in the week as well. So they've started off 2-0. I was able to catch up with a couple of freshmen. One of them was Jaslyn Rios. She's freshman, scored 2 goals, and then another was Gigi Garcia. And they're both freshmen. They didn't start, but they played a lot of minutes. So I got a little interview with them to discuss how it feels to be freshmen on and start playing varsity now, and just describing how the atmosphere is, compared to being playing middle school ball. So if we can go roll to that clip, that'd be great. All right, this is Juan Azul with Monday Night Football here at Southeast Stadium. As with Southeast girls with Jaslyn Rios and Gigi Garcia, 2 freshmen that actually got a lot of playing time today in a 9-0 win versus Meadow Creek. Gigi, first with you, how does it feel to be a freshman and already this is your second game and getting a lot of playing time on the varsity level?
It feels good.
What's made you confident that you can going from middle school ball going to playing high school ball? Because I know you play a lot of club ball, right?
Yeah.
So how does the club ball help you with the transition to high school?
Just how do I say this?
The pace of play?
Yeah.
Okay. Jazzy, what about yourself? I heard that you scored 2 goals today.
Yeah.
How did it feel to score your first 2 varsity goals?
It felt really good. Like, the environment was good. All the girls, cheered for me, and it was, a really nice feeling.
Okay. And obviously, you guys, so how does it feel? You all have been playing since y'all been little girls.
Yeah.
So do you feel like that chemistry helps you on the varsity level?
It does help us a lot, but also, we have to play with other girls, so it just helps it be easier.
Okay.
Because we've all been playing since we were little.
So really, y'all start out the season 2-0. What are y'all's expectations, or what are the expectations for the team for the rest of the year?
We want to win region. That's a goal. We want to win region. Try to have almost clean sheets almost every game.
What about yourself, Gigi? Is that same goals that you have?
Yeah, and then mentality.
Yeah, mentally tough.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, anything else y'all like to say?
No.
All right, well, once again, this is Juan Azul with Monday Night Football here at Southeast Stadium as they won 9-0 over Meadow Creek. Yeah, and welcome back. That was, as I mentioned, that was an interview that I caught with Jaslyn Rios and Gigi Garcia right after their 9-0 victory over Meadow Creek. So it looks like right now the girls' games are going to be very competitive around here, Chio.
Yeah. And I will say last year I did get to see a few games. Also, I was recruiting for my team, and I would go watch Southeast play, and I'm quite impressed with where their level is of soccer right now. And they're it could be also too, a lot of them play together for the Bells, because I train at the Bells and I watch them, and I feel like that has helped them grow some chemistry. And maybe they did grow up together in the academy. And so they have that good chemistry going on. I feel like they're one of the strong teams here locally for sure.
And obviously, TDA, they had the TDA girls. They they lost a tough one at the beginning of the season. But as we talked to Coach Jacobo, this is their 3rd season. He's just looking to make improvements. He did say earlier in the season that for them, the biggest change was he didn't have to teach as much. He's still teaching drills and skills and things like that, but it was less kids that he's having to teach. So I know your work at Hammond Creek, so eventually some of those kids feed into that school as well. So what are you guys teaching the kids at the school at Hammond Creek? What are your fundamentals or basics? Are they already, or do you have, let me rephrase that. Do you have players that are at all levels, or do you have players that are at a higher skill set and some that are lower skill set, or what's the overall skill set for the girls?
So there's a variety of levels. You have girls that they have the passion for the sport that probably have never played. And you can tell that they know, we call those coachable players. where they come in and they're trying to guide each other in a formation, I guess you can say, when they're playing against the more experienced girls. Even though they don't have the tactics or the skills, they're able to just pick up and be like, all right, I feel like this is going to be my job and I have to make sure that I get my job done. And I have a few players that come in, they're like, oh, I want to be a winger, I want to be a forward. I try them there and I switch them to a different position. I'm like, I think this is your position. And then they become a lot more confident. So at my point, it's mostly getting them, getting the basics done, passing, receiving, stopping the ball from just being blasted. I remember when John came to me, he's like, Gio, you're just blasting. I'm like, yes, sir. Yeah, you're right. So I took that and I was just like, all right, I think this is the age where I can control that, where I can help them be like, all right, don't panic when you have the ball. Just be patient with yourself and control it. You know, like you can set the foundation to the rest of the team from there on out. But it's just simple and a variety of players that you get in the middle school.
Because you're actually going to be fitting into two schools, like where, you know, typically the other schools, you know, their middle schools feed into one high school, where your middle school is feeding into either Dalton Academy or TDA or Dalton High School.
Yeah.
So
Dalton High.
So you may have a couple of coaches bugging in your ear, hey, chill, so how's this player doing?
And of course, I tell the girls, like, I'm never, just because I went to Dalton, like, doesn't mean you have to go. It's just, the thing is, like, you can choose what you would like to do. Just play. I'm like, I just tell my girls, I'm like, just play, do what you can, and don't feel defeated if, let's say, you don't make the team at the higher level when you get to high school or even in a club team. Don't feel defeated. That's not the end of it either. Like, we all come across a moment where we think we're not good enough, and I'm like, no, that's when you need to push yourself a little bit more.
All right, well, we got one more segment to go. We're going to go to commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to discuss the upcoming matches for this week.
My car looks totally ruined. I don't even know what to do.
Locally owned Dalton Collision Center is the only choice when it comes to all of your auto body and refinish needs. Our experienced staff provides quality work from start to finish, will help with your claim, and even assist with getting your rental car. Everything from A to Z.
So you can focus on life, we can focus on getting you there.
We provide an excellent service for individuals who've had catastrophic injury cases, people who've had injuries that are going to last them, unfortunately, for the rest of their life. Being there for a person, being there to actually see them get better, that is what this field is all about. That's what we're really striving to do, and that's what we think we provide. You still have to have that empathy for the person so you can tell their story to the jury. At the end of the day, that's where your case is heard.
This year, Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty is proudly commemorating our 50th anniversary, and what a journey it has been. For 5 decades, Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty has been the heartbeat of real estate in Northwest Georgia.
We've had the privilege of helping thousands of homeowners with their real estate transactions. Thank you, Dalton and Northwest Georgia.
Whether you're buying, selling, or expanding your business, trust the experience that comes with 50 years of excellence. Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty with offices in Dalton, Calhoun, Cartersville, Ringgold, and Cleveland, Tennessee.
And welcome back to Monday Night Football. This is the final segment. We have a special guest, Miss Belle Azua, wanted to come on and be on the show. So, Belle, introduce yourself. No? All right. So, if you don't mind, let's chill. We're in the last segment. We got a lot of big games coming up this week, so let's go ahead and go to those games that we have upcoming. Oh, no, this is a scoreboard. If you can come up with a schedule. Yes. And while there, I want to say, hey, if you haven't had a chance to go support my boy Helton for corner. And then, you know, if you like a little bit of indoor golf, go to Birdies on Morris, which is right down the hill from our TV station.
I have yet
right
to
here.
go.
Yes. So, look, this is the boys' schedule. Let's go over these games real quick. Big game, Coahulla Creek playing Calhoun. You got Murray County Dalton Academy. That's going to be a big one. Actually, that got moved to next week due to the rain. So that game has been pushed for a week. Tomorrow you have Northwest versus Rome, Murray County versus Coahulla Creek, Southeast versus Dalton. So you have actually 2 big games: Northwest Rome, Southeast Dalton, and then you have North Murray versus Fannin County. And then on February 15th, you got that Northern County rivalry at Northwest versus Coahulla Creek. You got North Murray at Model, Dalton Academy versus Cass, Murray County versus Daresville, Dalton versus Pace Academy, and then Southeast versus Eastside.
All right, and next week for the girls, February 12th, we have Coahulla Creek versus Dade County, Murray County versus Dalton Academy. On February 13th, we have Murray County at Coahulla Creek, Dalton at Alatuna, Southeast at Rome, and February 14th, on Valentine's Day, we have North Murray versus Fannin County and Dalton Academy versus Darlington. As well, on February 15th, we have Northwest at Coahulla Creek, Dalton Academy at Tryon. February 16th, Dalton Academy at Chattooga. Murray County versus Adairsville, Murray at Model, Dalton versus Pace Academy, Southeast versus Eastside, and Northwest at Rome.
So I guess this week we're going to actually see where some of our local girls are. You got Southeast playing Rome, and then you have Northwest girls playing Rome. We have Northwest playing Coahulla Creek. Big rivalry there for the northern end of the county, as we call it, Clásico Juvenil. And then we have El Clásico tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Chill, you played in a couple of Clásicos when you were younger, right?
Yeah.
How is that atmosphere from a player standpoint?
It's an adrenaline for sure, and it's really nerve-wracking sometimes where you just don't know what the outcome's going to be, and everyone's just watching Southeast. And
so, what was your overall record? What was your overall record in the Clásicos?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember, but but it was always like 1 year we would win, the next year it was Southeast, and then we would win, and then the following year would be Southeast. It was always just a on and off kind of thing. So it was very interesting.
So we have Northwest versus a big game there. Northwest versus Coahulla Creek. Where do you see that going?
I don't know, but I will be there on Thursday. I have yet to see Coahulla Creek, but I've heard good things about Coahulla Creek. I've seen Northwest play, so I can.
On the girls' side, I think it's going to be Coahulla Creek, Northwest. Mm-hmm. They got too much. They got the Clarks. They got the sisters. They got Lions, Lexi. I mean, she controls that midfield.
Yeah.
So
and I remember when some of those girls started playing. I remember.
For the Bells, right?
Yeah.
So I think the boys, it may be Coahulla Creek. I think they got too much. Northwest lost a lot. But then you got Murray County versus Dalton Academy. Where do you see that one going?
I'm not going to say anything. Like I said, I'm very open-minded. I don't want to.
That's the thing. We're here to say things now.
I want to see them. I have yet to see them actually play. Like Dalton Academy, like I said, I remember bringing in my girls from middle school, watching them. They were weightlifting. They were doing all these things. I know a couple of the players. They're skill-wise, they're pretty good. I think they're building up momentum to using their formation completely. And yeah, it's just a variety of players that they have on their team. I think they yet have to figure out like how to put them together. So.
But with that, we've ended this episode of Monday Night Football. Todd will be back with us, next week. But want to say thank you and look forward to see you all next week.
Two of the nicest guys in the car business.
Hey, it's Eddie and Greg here from North Georgia Toyota. It's our big midwinter sales event. And our new car and truck inventory is steadily increasing. So shop now while selection is at its best. Greg, other dealers are going to say, we can't do that. What do we say?
We say, oh yes, we can.
And that's only at North Georgia Toyota in Dalton. Come see us.
Why should you choose OptiLink Internet?
When I work from home, I need fast, reliable internet. OptiLink provides that with no hidden fees.
Our customers depend on us for great service and quality. And that's why we chose OptiLink Internet.
As we serve the needs of our clients, we need reliable internet service. That's why I chose OptiLink as my hometown provider.
Some people say you can't get fast internet. I say, oh yes, you can with OptiLink.
Experience the difference. Call today.
I'm Purby, live in Dalton, Georgia with Dos Fresh Mexican Grill.
And I'm Rusty with Builtwell Bank.
My husband and I are business owners, and we have known Rusty for 15 years now.
Yes, we've done a lot of projects together.
That's right. And we need banking partners that understand our small business need.
We understand you can have a great idea, but you need financing.
Everyone at the bank knows my name, which I love. For my personal and business needs, my bank is Futbol.